What about you as a person and a leader makes you someone voters should choose out of a large slate of candidates?
I'm from here. I'm from Johnson City. I'm born and raised. I serve as a project manager with an industrial automation company here in the area. We've dealt with a lot of difficult problems for clients around this in this area, and we've just seen this whole area growing. My passion for coming to Johnson City as a commissioner is to see us improve our job growth in high-paying positions, not just in retail and tourism type industries around our area. I currently serve on the city's industrial development board, where I've began that work, but I've been frustrated by the city's push towards having our community become a shopping tourism hub and really seeking to make this place attractive to people from outside. I'm from here. I want us to make our cities attractive to our current residents, and if elected, I'd like to do that on the Johnson City Commission.
It is a large slate. I don't believe that I am better necessarily than any candidate, but I believe that I have a unique outlook. I come from a 30-year military background. I retired from the Army. I now teach at ETSU. I've been here 11 years with my family, and I came up early in my career in the military. My wife was a nurse and I was a soldier, and we were on food stamps because we just weren't making a lot. I know that struggle. I understand what it takes just barely getting by every couple of weeks, and I think that I have a good outlook and focus on making sure that as we grow, as we expand, as we get better, we don't forget the folks who are just barely making it. I think my military career also gives me experience and accountability. I have always worked for the public. In the military, I worked for the citizens of the United States. As a member of the Johnson City Commission, I work for the city of Johnson City and its people, and we need to be accountable to them, whether things are going right, and we need to make sure everyone knows all the great things that are going on in Johnson City, or when things are going wrong and we're having issues. The best thing we can do is keep our people informed. Keeping everyone informed keeps everyone on track. They know that we're doing our best, and they know what's coming up next, and there's no question of our continued focus on the citizens of Johnson City. So accountability and the ability to communicate with the city of Johnson City and with all of its people.
Yeah, so there's 9 candidates running for 3 seats. That's a lot of choices. I think what I specifically can bring to the city commission table that might be absent right now is perspectives on working class individuals, people who are actively using the walking and biking infrastructure of the city, who can elevate those priorities in a position where, while everybody at the table might have good hearts, does have good intentions, wants to improve the city for everyone, but the concerns I have and the concerns my friends have, the struggles me and my friends have, might not necessarily be the same struggles they're personally experiencing. And I think that makes a blind spot in our city government. And I just want to make sure everybody's voice is being heard at the table. And I think that's what I could bring to the city commission, and that's why I'm looking for your vote. And part of the reason I'm running is I've been engaged in local organization for a while. I've been trying to encourage people to participate in the city government more. And out of that, several people asked me to run. And so I'm doing it.
Yes, there is a large slate. I think I separate myself because I've been a dentist and a business owner for almost 30 years. I know how to read P&L statements. I know how to deal with OSHA and TOSHA and just all kinds of government agencies. I know how to do payroll. I know how to deal with a large staff. I've built my practice from basically nothing to a fairly large entity. Being from here, you know, my parents are from here, I'm from here, my kids grew up here and settled here with their families. I completely have my pulse on understanding of what makes this area go. understand Johnson Cityans and Tri-Cityans and in general. And I think using leadership from when I was in high school on student council, college, a lot of different activities. Dental school, I was a class officer for 4 years. I was the treasurer and president of my professional dental fraternity for a few years. I created from nothing a very large youth travel baseball team, which required a lot of organization and paperwork and dealing with the state. It doesn't sound like it would be, but it was a lot of work, and I did that for over 10 years. I just am pretty good at taking large amounts of data and coming up with a plan to use them. And I think all those skills, which I've just acquired, I think they would be good assets to help run the city into the future.
Yeah, we do have a large slate of candidates this time. I think that the biggest thing that I bring to the table is not only my desire to give back to my community, but I have a completely different perspective. I don't own a lot of rental properties. I'm not a developer. I'm not a realtor. I'm not sponsored by the local failed health system that we have here. I'm just an average guy that lives on my Social Security. And I like to give back to my community, always have since I moved here in 2002. I've been involved in the community from the ground up. And I think that maybe that's what we need, rather than people that are at the top of the food chain, if you will. We need people, regular people, on the thing to say, hey, let's think about spending these $34 million or $40 million on a two-mile stretch at that of streets, when we could have used that $40 million in a lot of different ways to really bring the benefits to all the citizens.
There is a large slate of candidates this year. I think what makes me really unique is I've served multiple terms on the Johnson City Planning Commission, been on the Johnson City Development Authority, been on historic zoning. I've served on a number of nonprofit boards and really had that experience on the kind of on the civic side and what civic service and what it means to kind of be given our time for the betterment of our community. At the same time, I've started multiple kind of hospitality-based businesses, managed over 100 employees at them at different times, and really dealt that one a unique experience of creating a brand, going through all the brand identity, all the construction process to open them, hiring, fixing menus and programming. And then after they're open, just maintaining the business and managing and operations and kind of making them efficient. And they've been successful. I'm really proud of them. And then I've got a ton of experience on the real estate side. Born and raised in Johnson City, I know it like the back of my hand. Spent a lot of time. I've got a great perspective of being able to show people from out of the area our city on a regular basis. And I really love showcasing what we have. So I think hearing what they had to say about our community is a really unique perspective. And then on top of that, I've done some development downtown on historic properties, also North Johnson City, and kind of doing some raw land, and really been through the city process and the permitting process a lot, and really have a good idea of what it feels like on the consumer side, but also come from that civic side of the administrative side.
Well, I've been on the commission for 8 years. I was vice mayor for 2 of those, and I've been mayor for the last 2 years, and I think we're going in a good direction. I did not do this for any personal gain. I did it because I wanted to make Johnson City a better place. I had my children moving away, going to Chicago and Oklahoma City and Dallas, and I wanted to make this a better place for us here and to attract my children back, and 3 of them have moved back since then. So I've been doing, I hope, a good job because they're coming back. So I'm hoping that may be one of the reasons why people are moving here, is that Johnson City is a great place to live and a great, the Appalachians, you used to think of it bad, and now everybody wants to move here because we've got outdoors right around where we are. So hopefully we'll keep going in that right direction, and I think that Horizon 2045 plan for Johnson City is going to help with that.
I am called, committed, and connected. I'm called to lead in serving this community. I'm committed to doing the work and doing whatever it takes to advance the city of Johnson City. And I'm connected to the citizens, community leaders, and stakeholders. I embody over 25 years of combined leadership experience in business, nonprofit, local government, and faith community. And I'm here to serve the city that I love, we call Johnson City.
That's the question I probably like the least. It is not in my nature to talk of myself in that way. I would say track record, I would say experience, I would say temperament. I have approached my service on the West Walnut Street Task Force, the Planning Commission, the City Commission, in a way that tried to look at the community as a whole and tried to make measured and balanced decisions that reflect, we rarely get to pick between perfect and imperfect, black and white, great or bad, and we're having to balance unlimited needs within the context of limited resources and bringing to those decisions a sort of thoughtful, reasoned, and I think in this election more important than any, experienced perspectives is going to be so critical because we are on the cusp of a lot of very significant decisions to be made in Johnson City over the next 2, 3, 5 years that are going to have consequences not for 2, 3, or 5 years, but for a generation. And who is making those decisions and what experiences they are bringing to the table specific to municipal government, to planning, to utility delivery, et cetera, is going to matter now perhaps more than it has in 30 or more years.